Hello, Suns fans. This is Suns Latest. I am Rich Rubin. As of this recording, 924 Sunscribers. When you sign up for Suns Latest, you become a Sunscriber. You are no longer a sub. So thank you for signing up. Thank you for your comments. Thank you to Fan Arch. This is a blast, and we are well into the NBA season. Here's the quote of the day, and then we're going to get to it because there's a lot of NBA news happening. Quote, "The idea is not to block every shot. The idea is to make your opponent believe that you might block every shot." That is from Bill Walton, who I got to see play right when it was happening for him in the 70s, the year they won the NBA championship. And then the following year, where they were what? They were like 30-1 or something like that. And then he went down with his infamous foot injuries. But the year that Bill Walton and the Blazers won the title, I had never seen a more complete center. He only averaged 18 points a game, but he led the league in rebounding. He was an incredible passer. He did everything his team needed for him to do, not one thing more and not one thing less. He was the perfect player. That is why he got MVP that year. That is why people still talk about Bill Walton, even though he had such a short and injury-filled career. But Bill Walton, psychologically, was one of the smartest players you will ever see. He went to UCLA. He played under John Wooden. He followed Kareem at UCLA, and some say as a college player he was just as effective as Kareem, which is really hard to do because it's arguable. You can argue that the two of them were the greatest college players of all time. So Bill Walton's psychological bent was just get in their heads. There's a million ways to take that quote. But if you get in their heads and they're thinking, they're off their game. And that was another advantage that he had. He was absolutely incredible. And personal note, I used to hang out with Dr. Timothy Leary and his stepson, Zach Leary. Don't ask me why. It just kind of happened. When you live in Los Angeles, you meet people. And Bill Walton was a really good friend of Dr. Tim. And Bill Walton and myself and Zach and Dr. Tim, we went to a Grateful Dead show at Cal State Dominguez Hills one day after watching a Celtics playoff game the year after he retired. My brush with greatness, but that was cool, and I got to talk to him a little bit. All right, news around the NBA. We kind of knew it was going to happen. I'm surprised it even took this long. Dallas Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison was fired yesterday morning. Assistant GM managers Michael Finley, former Sun, Matt Riccardi are going to be promoted to lead the Mavs basketball operations for now. Harrison's the guy who sent Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first in 2029. He was instantly hated by all Maverick fans, and Fire Nico chants have been, well, they haven't really stopped. They were hurt at their most recent home game, a loss against the Bucks. They'll stop now. Luka's been injured this year, but he's still Luka, and the Lakers are 7-2. Davis has played 14 games for the Mavs. Davis has played 14 regular season games for the Mavs. Remember the first game he gets there? He's like dominating. He's great. And it was either later that game or the next game he goes down with an abdominal injury. I'm not laughing at Anthony Davis, who I really like. And if Anthony Davis had stayed healthy, he'd probably go down as one of the top 5 defensive players of all time. For a guy that size, to be that mobile and to be that effective as a defensive player and that quick. But he's played that and a few play-in games, but mostly he's been injured. Which is the story with Anthony Davis. The Mavs have all kinds of injuries. Kyrie is out. We're going to get to that in a second. They are 3-8. I think they're 2-5 at home. Nico is gone. It's very strange. But with the change in ownership, some of the decisions the Mavs have made have been questionable. Moving on, 4-time NBA All-Star Knick legend Michael Ray Richardson died yesterday in Lawton, Oklahoma at 70, shortly after getting diagnosed with prostate cancer. 4th overall pick in the 78 draft by the Knicks. Those of you who are old enough to have seen Michael Ray Richardson play, you know this guy was special. Played 8 NBA seasons, should have played about 15. He was durable too. Knicks, Warriors, and Nets, mostly known as a Knick. 2-time all-defensive first team. Led the league in steals 3 times. I mean, this guy he was an absolute beast. 1985 Comeback Player of the Year. No weaknesses in his game, said Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas. Quote, "He is the player who gave me the most problems playing against him. Taller, just as fast, could shoot from 3 and mid-range. His post-up game was elite." That's from Isaiah Thomas, who doesn't give out compliments that much. There was a time when the 2 best guards in the league were Magic Johnson and Michael Ray Richardson. If you know, you know. Banned from the league for drug use in '86 for violating the league's drug policy for a 3rd time. He had a huge issue. He even said he knew the ban was coming when it happened. He went on a bender, and then he cleaned himself up, and he stayed clean. And he coached in the minor leagues, and he ran basketball camps for underprivileged kids. Last year, he co-authored a book about his life called Banned: How I Squandered an All-Star NBA Career Before Finding My Redemption. It could have been better. It was great for a brief shining moment, but rest in peace, Michael Ray Richardson, also known as Sugar. He was 70 years old. LeBron James will practice with the G League South Bay Lakers this week. I think they play in San Bernardino. If he's just going to practice with them, fine. But if he gets in a game in the G League, that'll be a sight. He hasn't played in what will be his 23rd NBA season due to nagging sciatica. If you've had bad sciatica, you know that you just can't do anything. It's like a needle in your leg. But the freaking Lakers are 7-2 without him, and without Luka for a few games. Austin Reeves has been going off, and I hate to admit it, but I gotta. DeAndre Ayton has been playing really, really well and consistently. I wonder how long that's going to keep when Luka and Doncic are back. He might get better. I'm going to have to eat my words if DeAndre keeps this up. I thought he was going to be benched by the All-Star break, but as of now, 10 games in, he looks pretty good. Suns are at the Mavericks tonight, 5:30 p.m. game. Suns are 6-5. Amazing. Jalen Green is out 6 weeks after re-aggravating his hamstring on Saturday's win against the Clippers. He's not even going to be reevaluated for at least 10 days to 2 weeks. We're going to have to live without Jalen Green for a while. This is going to be the story this season with Jalen Green. Hamstrings are impossible. We've seen it happen to Book. We've seen it happen to so many players right now. So I think we're going to have to get used to no Jalen Green on a consistent basis for a long time. And that's okay. We got a two-headed monster in the backcourt as well. Dallas is 3-8, 2-5 at home. One of my favorite players ever, Klay Thompson of the Mavs, looked off last year. He looks washed this year. There is something not right. 2 for 7 in 17 minutes off the bench against the Bucks in their loss on Monday. Anthony Davis did not play. He'll be a game-time decision, but he's Anthony Davis. I don't think he's playing. I think there's something wrong with his ankle. If Anthony Davis has like 12 different injuries that keep him out of any game at any given time, it's really strange with him. Kyrie Irving is out. No one giving an exact return date on him, and the Mavs are not offering up anything. Kyrie is another guy, great player, always chunks of a season where he's just not available. And guard Dante Exum out indefinitely. Top overall pick Cooper Flagg is good. He will improve. He is shouldering a lot of responsibility for this Mavericks team right now, but there's no one in the league that doesn't want Cooper Flagg on their team. All right, let's get to your comments. Let's see. Gray Zukaluki. I think that might be the best handle. Watching Ivica Zubac play 2 games in a row was pretty cool. Zubac is just casually dominant. Zubac gets to his spot. That's what I've noticed about him. When he first came in with the Lakers, he was tall and he could shoot over people, but he couldn't move anybody. Now he's moving people. Definitely moved Mark Williams around, and that is going to be something we're going to have to address later. Our centers are good. They're not monsters. Zubac is a monster, but I think we got the Clippers number this year, regardless of who's injured. I don't know how to say your name. Zoish, I'm guessing, because your name starts with an X. Cool. That basketball terrorist, Budnolzer, didn't think so. Colin has been amazing for us. I think one of y'all said, let's stop talking about Coach Bud. And I've driven it into the ground. I really, really had an issue with Coach Bud last year. When a coach that's that accomplished loses the locker room and then gives up, it's just resign, dude. Let the assistant have his time. You're going to make your money one way or the other. But he didn't until the very end of the season when he had nothing left to lose, which he already lost everything. He starts putting Colin Gillespie in, and Gillespie showed out. But Colin has been amazing for us. We're going to get to some Colin Gillespie stuff. Nevetsov, by the way, thank you for becoming a Sunscriber, and you're the one who pointed out we should do a Hustler edition of Suns Legends of the Day. And yes, you pointed out that Uncle Cliffy was a stud. We did a Cliff Robinson Legend of the Day Hustler edition recently. With that shooting stroke, he could comfortably play the 3, 4, or 5. Cliff Robinson could play all front court, stretch big before stretch bigs were a thing. Think about it. Cliff Robinson could play shooting guard. And from front court, he could actually facilitate. Cliff Robinson was such a complete player. I love him. Robert Sears Gin. No Brooks, no playoffs. Yeah, you need a guy like Brooks if you're going to make the playoffs. And every time Brooks plays, he sets the tone defensively. He also had 18 in the last game. Dylan Brooks can score. He just kind of can't shoot. I'd like to see him get a little bit smarter with a shot selection, but I'm not. That's about all the complaining I got. John Freeman followed Lenny Wilkens all my young life till now. I will miss him. Good man. Yeah, Lenny Wilkens just passed away over the weekend. I did a little bit of ode to Lenny Wilkens the last Sun's latest. I'm sorry, when I think of Lenny Wilkens, I get very melancholy. He was a very special player and coach. Kenny Welker, Suns need to pick up Mac McClung. I keep saying that. Suns need to pick up Mac McClung to help out Colin Gillespie while Jalen is out. Anonymous Rex responds, no, they don't. I'm a McClung supporter, but no. I love Mac. I've said so, but we don't need him. We got a two-headed mofo in Gillespie and Goodwin. We are filling out nicely with these guys. The walking fortune cookie. I was always high on Grayson Allen, but didn't expect him to shoot so well for us. I did. I'm not saying I knew, but it's like I always felt that Grayson Allen, you unleash that guy, he's going to make a lot of threes. Royce continues to surprise me. Royce is amazing this year for us. I keep on doubting him, but he keeps coming in hot. Truly, those role players have been special. It's no wonder we have kept them for so long. It will be rough to trade them. Well, let's go with what we got right now. But I can see if we can get some firsts in return. Grayson might be worth a late first-round pick and a future lottery-protected pick at this rate. You know what, guys? We got a fun, hard-working team right now. There's really no need to talk about trades unless something is absolutely falling in our lap. And yes, down the road, those guys are probably going to be traded. But at the same time, why not trade some of the younger guys? These guys got another year of this in them, and they're really effective players. That's the whole point. I understand we have to consider the future. I understand we're going to need first-round draft picks, but can we please enjoy the freaking moment? Dagoon R. Grayson Allen will be making the wait for Green to return a little bit more bearable. What a stud. 42 points on 10 for 15 three-point shooting. That's stud material. Hammered on PHX. Hello, sir. I don't like to pat billionaires on the back, but it does appear that Matt Ishbia made a good hire with Jordan Ott. Yep. I've been very critical, so time to heap on some praise. Great friggin' job. And very happy he ignored your opinion on Kuminga. Yeah, I'm glad we don't have Kuminga right now. Kuminga's doing well for the Warriors, and the Warriors are doing well with Kuminga. But let's be fair. Let's be honest, too. They're both trying to up his trade value. They know what's going on. But if he's fitting in and they can come to some sort of resolution and understanding, that's cool, too. I think Matt Ishbia is strapped, obviously, with his apron issues. Can't make the moves he wants. He was on ESPN talking about KD wasn't the best fit. Yeah, but, here's the one who tried to make him fit, along with the Beal trade. We had 90% of what we needed before those trades. We needed a backup, or we needed somebody other than Tyus Jones to take the load off CP3. And we should have swapped Ayton for Turner, which was totally, easily going to happen, and we just didn't do that. We opted for big names. Hey, you know what? It happens, but whatever. I'm happy now. Be in the moment, guys. All right, let's get to your Legend of the Day Hustler Edition. This was thought of by Sunscriber Nevetsov. AC Green, a combo forward from Oregon State, drafted in the first round by the Lakers in '85 with the 23rd overall pick, 6'9", 220, nicknamed the Iron Man, and I think we all know why. He still holds the NBA record for most consecutive regular season games played with 1,192. That's incredible. AC Green, mostly known as a Laker, but he was an awesome addition for us from 93 to 96. You knew what you were getting with AC Green. Not only was he gritty and tough, but he was that unfazed guy. You could not get in his head. He was as focused as anybody. He started for the Lakers for years. He was the guy who replaced Kurt Rambis as the gritty, dirty work guy because he didn't need to score, but if you needed him to, thunderous dunks. Absolutely, really relentless on the offensive boards. He didn't miss a beat for us as well. He had a career-high scoring average of 14.7 his second year with us. Played hard. We got ousted in the semis the second year he was with us. We thought him as a backup to Chuck was like, that's all we need. That's all we need. And it was, but we kind of ran into the buzzsaw in the playoffs, and it was kind of odd. The next year, his streak of consecutive games almost ended during a game with the Knicks when he faced J.R. Reed, who intentionally elbowed him in the face. J.R. Reed, what a disappointment you were. AC lost 2 teeth and sustained a head injury, so he put on a mask and continued the streak. That's just how he was. Absolutely durable. You could not keep this guy down. Never flashy or spectacular, just hardworking and effective. AC was dirty work embodied in an NBA player, and he was as steady as they come. In 1990, the fans voted him to start in the All-Star game ahead of Karl Malone, like I think he was like the reigning MVP. That's how popular that's the kind of guy AC Green was, and he could have cared less if he was an all-star. He just went out there and he played his guts out. 16 NBA seasons. Yes, he was mostly known as a Laker. I remember when we got him, I said, that's it. He is the missing piece. This is the guy who's, as soon as Barkley sits down, remember, we would just drop. AC Green's going to cover that, and I think he did what he could. I think the team expected them. I think the team at that time expected, oh, we're going to be great. I think we overlooked ourselves, and that's why we got ousted in the semis and didn't make it back to the finals with Chuck. So 16 NBA seasons for the Iron Man, AC Green. Outside of basketball, AC, a very religious man. AC's heart dedicated to working with youth because of his love for young people. AC established the AC Green Youth Foundation in '89, the main focus on sexual abstinence education. The rumor is AC Green, from college through his entire NBA career, abstained from sex. That's the rumor. And there are a lot of people that just can't possibly believe this, especially playing with the Showtime Lakers. We'll never know. Interesting factoid about AC Green, and kind of odd, but hey, you do you. AC Green is your Suns Legend of the Day, Hustler Edition. Suns at Mavs tonight at 5:30. Go Suns. Thank you for being a Sunscriber. Thank you for watching and commenting. We'll do this again tomorrow.